Hey, good morning, CAD 255. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, we're going to start some drawing stuff today, and we're also going to talk about grading and how you earn points for your grades. So first, I'm going to draw a part. It's just one of the example parts, or one of the practice parts. It's in assignment 2, so I'm going to start with the mounting block. It's a guided exercise on the mounting block. And I'm just gonna kind of do a quick demo on how I do the mounting block and how I use Solid Professor and stuff like that. So when you get to this point and you click mounting block, it gives you this. And this can be helpful. Like you can click page by page like this, and it gives you the directions. Or you can do this printer friendly button down here, which I actually prefer. When you click printer friendly, you get the full page, and then it's to me it's easier to scroll through and use it that way. I'm going to go ahead and start drawing this. So I'm going to toggle back and forth between SolidWorks and Solid Professor. So click SolidWorks. I opened a new part already, which is right here. So I'm going to go to Sketch here. I'm going to start on let's go with the right plane. And I'm just going to draw a basic outline of this part. Basically, oops, hold on. I don't think it looked quite like that. Okay, so I didn't even bother with figuring out what size that is or anything like that. I'm not too concerned about the actual size right now until I start adding dimensions. So as you can tell, this is in IPS, so inches, pounds, and seconds. That's a good thing to check, which I didn't do beforehand. It's down here. It is in IPS because that's the default on mine. But if you get to a part where it's, let's say you start a part and you dimension things and you realize you're in the wrong units, it's almost easier to start over because it'll scale your drawing and stuff can go haywire very quickly. So one of the first things you learn pretty quickly, usually by doing it wrong, is getting your units set up correctly first, because it'll save you a lot of time. Because if you get to the end of the part and you realize it's in the wrong units, going back and rescaling and redimensioning everything part by sketch by sketch is very, very tedious and not awesome. So just remember to get yourself into the right units first. Okay, so then let's go back here. Okay, 1.5 to 3.75. Let's see if I can remember that. Okay, 1.5 to 3.75. Okay, let's just double check that. Yeah, 2, 3.75. Okay. So now we've got a fully defined sketch right there. We're going to go ahead and click Features, Extrude. I'm going to rotate so I can kind of see which direction that arrow is pointing. And then if I go back to here, let's see, it's going to be 5 inches. I'll just type in 5, enter, and click OK. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle over to the criteria list. So this is how you're going to be graded. So, and I'll pause here for a second because I'm going to talk about this. Drawing sketches are fully defined. You get 10 points for that. So if we go back to the SolidWorks sketch, and if you send me a part, the way I can tell really quickly if your part is fully defined, and you can do this for yourself too, is if it wasn't fully defined, there'd be a little negative symbol right here. So let's go ahead and edit. And I'm going to delete one of these. Delete. Close the sketch. So this is no longer fully defined. And you'll see that we've got a little negative symbol right there. So right off the bat, I can tell that that sketch is not fully defined. And so can you. So if you are double checking your part to the criteria list and you see that, then you can go back into that sketch and add a dimension or a constraint. Make sure your sketch is all the lines are black. Come back out. And now that negative symbol's gone. So that's a good way to check. So that's how I grade your work. It's just like that. All right, let's go over here. Nope, I don't want that one. I want this one. There we go. Okay. So we're going to sketch up on top of this one. And I don't think I'll do the whole, I'm not going to do the entire part because that's a really long video. But there is one tricky part that I'll show you guys on this mounting block that can frustrate the heck out of people. I'm going to do this circle and then I'll use the fillet, or actually that's the chamfer feature. So we're going to go 0.8, 1 inch, and 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to select this top surface. I'm going to click sketch. This normal to button is really helpful. It might not be, sometimes you have, I put that up there by default. I modify this toolbar for that because I use it all the time. But your view orientation, this is normal to. So if you click a surface and click normal to, it's going to flip over so you're looking directly at it. So if you're anywhere like this and you do that, I think that's really helpful. That's the normal to button. I'm going to go ahead and start dimensioning now. So again, we're going to have to add quite a few dimensions to get it fully defined. So size of circle, and then location. And the location, you always dimension from the center point of the circle to another point or edge, just like that. Okay, I believe that was correct. All right, so now we've got a sketch and we want to do a hole feature. So we're going to go to extrude cut. I'm going to rotate so that I can see that the hole is going all the way through. I'm just going to say through all for now, just so it goes to the, I know it goes through, just like that. And then we've got a through hole. All right, let's go back to our drawing. I did these dimensions incorrectly. It's 0.75 and 1. I messed that up. So I'll go back and fix that. And actually, the depth was 0.2 inches. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was through all. It was through all. The chamfer is at a 45-degree angle, and it's 0.2 inches. So I'll show you how to add that, and then I'll show you how to add this keystone cut down here. This can be a little tricky. And then we'll talk about the grading criteria after I get through that. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit that sketch. I put in some incorrect dimensions, so I'm going to expand this feature. I'm going to find that sketch where that circle was. I'm going to edit the sketch. This was 1 instead, right there, just like that. Okay, now I exit the sketch and the part updates, and we've still got 2 fully defined sketches right there. Inside, to find the chamfer feature, that's under fillet. So fillet and chamfers are pretty similar. Fillets are rounded, chamfers are flat. It's a flat surface instead of a rounded surface. So when you click chamfer, it asks you the depth. So in our directions, it said 0.22 or 0.20. Let's see, I can't remember which one it was, 0.2. Let's go with 0.20. If it's incorrect, I'll come back and edit it. It's already at 45 degrees. You can just select that feature. It gives you a preview. Just make sure that your full preview is on. That's nice to see that it's working correctly before you click OK. And then you've got a chamfer. Okay, let's make sure that that was the correct size. All right, so 0.2, yeah, it was correct. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys do this one on your own. That one's pretty simple. The only thing is you're gonna add the fillet instead of the chamfer, and you're just gonna select that vertical edge to add your fillet. And then this is the one that gets people tripped up on a little bit. So from this view, you can see that this sketch is not on this surface. Otherwise, the sketch would be at an angle on the surface. A lot of students accidentally will place a sketch here and cut down into that surface. You don't have to have a sketch on the surface exactly that you're cutting into. So my sketch is actually on this top surface right here. So when you choose that sketch plane, you're choosing that surface up there. So again, a lot of students will grab this and start sketching. But if you saw from that view, I was just showing you the sketch that is actually parallel with this one. So we'll say sketch, normal to, and then we'll just do this. And here's another cool trick. So you saw that there's like it's like a kind of a tombstone shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an arc. So I'm in the line tool currently. I click the endpoint of the line and I go away from the line. And you can see it's drawing another line segment. But if I go back to the endpoint like this and I come back out, it now starts drawing a tangent arc. Ooh, super handy. It's pretty cool. Okay. But let's say that you didn't do that. We'll delete this. We'll go into our arc tool. Here's our arc tool. Tangent arcs will get used a lot. And tangent is means that this line smoothly transitions into this circle in both ways. So that's usually the arc that you want oftentimes is a tangent arc. If it wasn't a tangent arc, you could get some weird arc that's way too big that doesn't meet up smoothly with your parts. So as you can see, that sketch is now floating in space a bit, but it's over my surface here. Then I can say feature, extrude cut. This time we don't want blind or through all. We can say, let's see, up to vertex. Let's do up to vertex. And we'll select this as the vertex, and it'll cut down to that edge. And that's the edge that we want to cut down to from that drawing. And we end up with a cut that looks like that. But again, there's a couple things in there that are really helpful. You don't have to be on the surface. You don't have to have a sketch on the surface that you're actually cutting. It can be on a different surface. You can cut to different depths. You can cut to different things. So you can control your depth of cut from the menu. We also covered that fillet is a tool, but there's a chamfer feature underneath it that you can use. And then the rest of, and as you can see, I didn't fully define that sketch. So if we expand that, I've got a negative symbol, and that's telling me that I need to go add some more dimensions or some more constraints. But we'll pause right there because that was the majority of the important tool functionality to complete that. And those are tools that you'll be using for quite a while. This part right here, and actually let's go back one more time to our criteria list. It's actually right here. Okay. So part is extruded to proper depth. I'm just going to check that your dimensions are correct. Dimensions are accurate and match the drawing. That's very important. Those will all be checked as well. Fillets are properly sized, and features, and by features I mean holes, cuts, that kind of stuff. So it's just basic, pretty basic accuracy in terms of whether you're following the dimensions given to you in the part drawing, and that you're adding all the correct dimensions so that your things are fully defined. So just, you can cruise back through your parts as they come up, as you work through them. These criteria lists will be found as an attachment in each assignment. So when I assign the mounting block, or I assign other parts from assignment 2 in Solid Professor. So what I'm going to have you turn in is I'm going to have you turn in the mounting block, and I'm going to have you turn in the plumber block right there. So those will be 2 assignments in D2L. Each of those assignments will have a criteria list associated with it for you to check out. So, all right, that's it. And let me know if I can help.